Coming up, we're going to dive into running your own race, which, in case you were wondering, is not the same as settling. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and I'm so excited that you're here. The Plan B CRNA podcast is the only show made specifically for nurse anesthetists who are exploring options outside of their traditional career paths. This is the place to expand your mind and your goals as we uncover new ways to produce side income together. The mindset that we bring to any situation plays a key part in overcoming challenges and really enjoying our unique paths in life. On Thoughtful Thursdays, I like to explore emotional topics that are relevant to CRNAs and other providers. I think of this as my therapy, and I hope you learn some tips and tricks that you can use along your own journey. This episode is brought to you by On-Call Capital. On-Call Capital is dedicated to educating CRNAs and other healthcare providers about investing outside of the traditional stock market. On-Call Capital also provides opportunities for you, yes you, to create passive income and generational wealth while also lowering your taxable income through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure you do that right now so that you don't miss an episode. Thanks so much for joining me today, and now on with the show. Welcome to Thoughtful Thursdays on the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and as always, I like to start these episodes off with a quote that gets me thinking. Steve Prefontaine once said, "A lot of people run a race to see who is fastest. I run to see who has the most guts." Now, for those of you who don't know, Steve Prefontaine was an American long-distance runner who, from 1973 to 1975, set American records at every distance from 2,000 to 10,000 meters. He was born in Coos Bay, Oregon, and attended the University of Oregon, where he and some other runners generated considerable media coverage that led to a 1970s running boom. And tragically, he died in a single car accident at the age of 24. Prefontaine, or Pre, as many know him, has been an inspiration to thousands of runners across the years. When I was in high school, 2 movies centered on his life came out within a year of each other. The first was 1997's Prefontaine, and the second was 1998's Without Limits. The distance runners that I ran with gravitated to the first movie that starred Jared Leto, and he really captured the essence of Pre, that cockiness and vulnerability of the character with his performance. Running is a significant part of my life to this day, and it affects the way that I view the world and draw inspiration from it. Pre was undersized without the traditional distance runner's build, but he ran every race like it was his last, giving everything that he had. And this example can provide us with a different perspective. It's not about necessarily being the fastest or outdoing others. It's about the courage and determination we display while actually running our own race. To truly run our own race, we must acknowledge our limitations. Each one of us has unique strengths and weaknesses, and it's vital to recognize and embrace them. Our limitations can be seen as guideposts rather than roadblocks. They provide us with valuable insights into our areas of growth and improvement. Understanding those limitations helps us to set realistic goals and allows us to focus on personal development rather than comparing ourselves to others. Now, sometimes the phrase "run your own race" can be mistaken for settling. I know my own limits, and I just can't do that. However, it's equally important to acknowledge that our limitations do not define us unless we allow them to do so. While we may have certain inherent weaknesses or challenges, whether they're physical or mental, it's our attitude and perseverance that determine how far we can go. Instead of being discouraged by our limitations, we can choose to view them as opportunities for growth and transformation. Now, one powerful way to break through our barriers is by cultivating a growth mindset. And I've spoken about this before. This mindset embraces challenges, sees effort as a path to mastery, and believes in the power of learning and resilience. By adopting a growth mindset, we can push beyond our perceived limits and achieve things we once thought were impossible. To further illustrate Prefontaine's approach to running and to life, I believe, he once said, "The best pace is a suicide pace, and today is a good day to die." Now, just because Pre spent his life at a suicide pace doesn't mean that you have to. Your own experiences are unique and valuable, and they will drive you to do what's best for you. and each person's race is different, and comparing ourselves to others can be beneficial and detrimental to our own growth and happiness. But instead of focusing on what others are doing, we should probably shift our attention inward and concentrate on our own journey. Because by embracing our individuality, we can tap into our true potential and create a fulfilling and purpose-driven life for ourselves. Now, let's explore some practical strategies for running your own race and embracing your uniqueness. Number 1, setting your own goals. Defining what success means to you based on your values, passions, and aspirations. Establishing your own benchmarks. That's going to keep you focused and motivated rather than being swayed by society's standards of achievement or, your friend groups. Number 2, practice self-compassion. It's essential to treat yourself with kindness and understanding along this journey. Acknowledge that you will face setbacks and encounter obstacles, but remember that these are part of that path. Be gentle with yourself, celebrate your progress, and learn from those experiences. And finally, number 3, surround yourself with a supportive network. Seek out individuals who inspire and encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Connect with like-minded people who share your values and goals. I understand this is easier said than done sometimes, but it can be done. And together you can create a positive and empowering environment that fosters personal growth and resilience. I'm going to leave you with one more final pre-quote before we go. No matter how hard you train, somebody will train harder. No matter how hard you run, somebody will run harder. No matter how hard you want it, somebody will want it more. I am somebody. As always, I have a few references in the show notes to help you delve deeper into the concept of running your own race and embracing your uniqueness. When we can discover our own courage and resilience, we can truly run our own race with all of the guts that we have. That's going to do it for today's show. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. I'd love to hear what you thought of the show, so put that right in your review. I check those all the time. So if you're interested in passive income opportunities with tax advantage real estate, please visit my website at www.oncallinvestments.com or reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Until next time, stay safe and take care of each other out there. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you haven't already subscribed and reviewed the show, I'd be honored if you took the extra time. It really helps to expand our reach and get the word out about the show. If you're a CRNA who is interested in sharing your story on our podcast, I'd love to have you. Please email me at bobby@oncallinvestments.com for more information. This episode was brought to you by On-Call Capital. They are dedicated to helping providers like you develop passive income and generational wealth through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. Feel free to check out their website at www.oncallinvestments.com and subscribe to their free educational email series. You can find On-Call Capital on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page, where you'll find all of the show episodes along with other educational videos. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.